the Jaguars are united on the bluffs of the mighty Mississippi to defend their turf. And this fall, they stalk in unison. This fall, they strike with furiosity. This fall, Jaguars proud as well.
Touchdown run. It's a lot of effort, a lot of determination.
This is Inside the Jaguar Nation, presented by Russell Law Firm.
That's right. Welcome to Inside the Jaguar Nation, a winning side. How about Southern Jaguars and their fans getting all they could pay for there at Ace Mumford Stadium? They certainly a nice ticket to take home, a nice win to take home. A winning team here in the Red Stick.
Yeah, at least one winning team here in Baton Rouge.
A little shade right
That's right. The Jags finally flexing some muscle, but are they down their quarterback again? That's the key question following this game. Let's get to the highlights. The Jags back in action against the Fort Valley State Wildcats, and familiar faces on the sidelines. Jaguar star Leonard Tillery watching from the sidelines. And Austin Howard, he started again and hands it off here. It makes it easy for him. Cameron Mackey finding that edge there, and he turns on the boosters. 62-yard score. The Jaguars up 7-0 in a hurry. And then the Jags, though, the defense would get a stop, and it's a punt. And you know number one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that bad man, Danny Johnson. Another punt return here and another touchdown on the season. He goes 68 yards. Tells that punter, don't even try next time,
Oh, come on. The punter, you know he wasn't
don't
catching
even
number
try.
one.
Jaguars tack on another 7 to go up 14 there, but the Wildcats would respond with a punt return of their own. Lorenzo Smothers runs it back 42 yards. Touchdown, and this game kind of picks up here.
Yeah, and Austin Howard on his birthday, by the way, finding his young wide receiver out there, Mr. Mims, getting in the end zone, making it 21-7 Jags. The house is rocking there at A.W. Mumford Stadium. But Jamon Slade keeping it close, 21-14. The freshman quarterback, though, right here, John Lampley, decides this game is over. Final of this one, 31-14.
All right, Coach, you guys got the victory today. All week you were talking about tasting that victory, and the Jags got a chance to taste that today. What does that feel like? What do you think that does to the psyche for the team?
Well, hard-fought victory, you know. I mean, these kids over here from Fort Valley, they play hard, man. It's a program with a lot of tradition, and, I mean, I knew coming in it was going to be another dogfight. You know, we're just so happy to have a victory. Now I think you build on that momentum. Meetings ought to be a little bit better. Got homecoming, you don't have to get them up for that. So hopefully we can put a little streak together going into the bye week.
All right, let's talk about the game a little bit. A lot of penalties called. How did you keep the team's frustrations down with some questionable calls out there?
Well, you got to keep playing. Play the next play. I mean, that's what it boils down to. Play the next play, and we keep going from there.
All right, you guys, offense put up 31 last week. You guys put up 31 this week. Austin went out. Can you just tell us what's the status with him, and why did you choose to bring in Lampley in the second quarter?
Well, you know, we wanted to see where it was at. He came up a little gimpy, but he's all right. So he'll get a little rest this week. We'll try the same game plan next week. So Lampley was our guy. He did a great job in practice. I was happy for the young man and, you know, gave him opportunity to play, and I thought he played well.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you, man.
That's right. Hey, we were just talking about shade. Our man Aaron Lee throwing a little shade there towards the refs a little bit.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Just a little bit. Aaron, though, there's a lot of ways to take this one. What did you see out there?
I was at the game, and it was great to see them get the win.
Yeah,
you
a
know,
lot of confidence.
it's been tough these couple of weeks, but they got the win. Remember last year's theme, Defend the Turf?
Yeah,
where they're 2-0 in the season on that turf.
Nice
but
little nugget
the
there.
flow wasn't that good this game.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else did you see out there?
Man, it was like the Jags would get something started on offense, and then there would be a penalty. You get a holding penalty here or a false start. Then on defense, they would make a great defensive stop. Then another flag would be thrown for pass interference or offsides. It was so frustrating to watch, and I know Coach Odom felt the same.
Oh, yeah.
Just a lot of penalties, really, that kept the flow of the game from being, you know, smooth. You know, you're making drives, you're doing good plays, all of a sudden they get called back. Now instead of you being in 1st and 10, you might be in 2nd and 20. So that led to a lot of, you know, just the flow of the game just really changed. And we haven't been penalized that much, so we got to go look at the film and see what the ref was seeing, because, you know, we've been one of the least penalized teams coming to this game, and all of a sudden it's yellow flags everywhere. And I'm like, I mean, I didn't see that coming, that we would play that undisciplined when it comes to penalties.
And now it wasn't all bad. That offensive backfield, Aaron, we're seeing some back and forth between the senior and the redshirt freshman so far this year. Isn't that right?
Yeah, Devon Ben has been the guy. Took over the starting running back position. Powerful downhill runner. But it was a senior, Herb Edwards, Dave, because he was running up and down the field. He finished with 152 yards on the day and broke some big plays for the Jaguars.
Great being back on my team. Like you said, the past 3 weeks, I haven't getting too much playtime due to a hamstring injury, the game against Southern Miss. So I just felt great being back on the field with the ball in my hands with my team again. Our O-line did a great job of getting up to the second level. So, I feel as though the run period, outside and inside, was great because of our O-line today. Our O-line played outstanding to me today. They was getting to the second level. They was finishing blocks. If they wasn't finishing, they was trying to. That's all the running back can ask for is the O-line that tries. So, a lot of my credit go to my O-line today.
More of that man coming up. But first, we're going to bring you the sounds of that human jukebox everybody's got to love.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Aaron. Thanks, Morgan. By the way, later in our show, we go one-on-one with the player of the game. We also, by the way, take you behind the scenes and there to Southern University. You know if I'm excited about this piece. You know exactly who it is. Number one in your hearts and number one on the field, Mr. Danny Johnson. More right after this.
You're watching Inside the Jaguar Nation, presented by Russell Law Firm, with Brian Holland, Morgan Beard, Ashley Lyotis, and Aaron Lee.
That's right, a team effort here on Inside the Jaguar Nation. I'm Brian Holland alongside Morgan Beard. And what a game last night.
Yeah, a lot of things we could look at, a lot of good signs for the Jaguars, but one person in particular standing out, happens a lot, Aaron Tiller, and that's why he's this week's player of the game. Our own Aaron Lee caught up with him after the game.
All right, I'm here with this week's performer of the game, Aaron Tiller. You had 3 sacks today. I know the defense didn't play as good as you wanted to do, but your personal performance was great. And what do you attribute that to?
My work ethic, I go out, I study film. I picked up on some signals they were having out there, and I just pin my ears back and play. I know my team need me to make plays, and I got to make plays when they need me to.
All right, describe the penalties. You guys had 10 penalties for 90 yards. I know Coach Oldham says he wants about 5 to 6, a game. How did you keep the frustration down? There were a few pass interference. You guys would make a great play, and then they would call pass interference. How did you keep the frustration down as a defense?
We always preach something good happen, keep playing, something bad happen, keep playing. So we know we're not gonna get the calls or help from the refs. So we just got to keep playing, and that's it. That's been the focus from day one. You can't just start pointing fingers or doing this and doing that. You just got to stay together, stay locked in, and just keep playing.
You were making plays out there. You see Danny making plays on special teams. As a defense, how does that confidence help you guys going into your next game?
Well, me and Danny know that they're dependent on us to make plays. How we go is going to be how the defense goes. So, and we can't be the ones down and out, because if they see us down and out, they're going to follow pursuit. When they see us playing up-tempo, playing relentless, they're going to follow in pursuit. So that's when me and him harp on. So he come to me, I come to him and say, come on, let's turn it up. Or he come to me, 94, let's turn it up. And that's what we do, you know what I'm saying? Because me and him know, we got at stake. We know what we got to do to win.
Coach talked about it all week, tasting victory. You guys got the taste of victory today. What does that feel like as a team, as just as your psyche, moving forward into homecoming week, another home game, another big game. You guys moved to 2-3 on the season. What does that do for you guys as a team as a whole?
I'm really just, as a team, it's great and all, but I really want my team to focus on winning next week. So this win is over with. Nothing to dwell on, nothing to be all happy about. We won, it's over with, we're supposed to win. That's how we do things around here. So now it's time to get back on the clock. Alabama A&M is on the clock, and they coming in here to try to win a football game. It's our job to keep them out of it.
All right, thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's the Aaron's show. It's also the Human Jukebox show. They're showing a little dancing dolls as well. Coming up, I take you inside the film room and show you some of the key plays from Saturday night. You don't want to miss it coming up.
You're breaking out the telestrator, and I'm busting out the calendar. We're going to give you a rundown of all you need to know around campus at Southern. Inside the Jaguar Nation, coming right back at you.
This is Inside the Jaguar Nation, presented by Russell Law Firm.
That's right. Welcome back to Inside the Jaguar Nation, and now it's time for us to break out that clicker and game tape and break it down a little bit with Brian Holland in the film room. Brian?
Yeah, Morgan, as soon as I put on the game film, there was one guy, especially on defense, that jumped off the tape. And if you've been out to Ace Mumford Stadium, if you've been over to the Bluff to see a game just here in the past few years, you know who I'm talking about, number 94, Aaron Tiller, and he absolutely did work last night against Fort Valley State. Watch him. He's up here at the top, and they're going to try and basically flank him and get out to the edge. Aaron Tiller, like an upperclassman, someone who knows what their job is, he gets out on the edge, and he stops the play before it really even starts. Let's take a look and go ahead and roll it. Number 94, double teamed on this one, still gets to the ball carrier, takes him down. An incredible effort. So, next play should be a little bit gassed, right? Well, it's only a 3-man rush. They don't need anyone else because, yeah, Tiller right there coming off the stunt, and he gets to the quarterback, one of his 3 sacks on the night. Now, on offense, it came down to a true freshman quarterback. We just talked about him. We've been talking about him all show. But if Austin Howard is not able to go, these are the type of plays you're going to see from the sideline. Getting him out on the edge. You got a little chip block out there so that he can get out, feel comfortable, and execute the throw. If you go through his game tape, I mean, just a few months ago, he took his team to the state semifinals in Georgia 5A football. Lampley does work. Once he kind of gets those feet moving, he gets much more comfortable. And as you can see, he can pay off in a big way. He did a really good job, by the way. 2 of his runs were called back, 2 of his long runs. And then this is just a one-read quarterback draw. Looks like a straight-up quarterback draw call from the sideline, but it's not. He reads the linebacker, and then he scampers towards the end zone. He had 8.5 yards a carry. Lampley feeling a little bit more comfortable after that one, and if we see Lampley back out on the football field, expect him to move the pocket, get him out on the outside, and take advantage of his running skills. Morgan?
Thanks, Brian. Getting next level there in the film room. Now, we know football is not the only thing going on the Bluff. Our very own Ashley Lyotis is here with more on what other Southern sports are in action this week.
We are in the midst of an intense fall season of athletics at Southern University. Let's take a look at how some of the teams did this week. The cross-country team took part in the McNeese State Cowboy Stampede. The women's team finished 8th, and the men's team did not place. The soccer team had faced off with Arkansas Pine Bluff on Friday. That game ended in a tie. Now, coming up this week, the cross-country team will take their skills to Mississippi for the Watson Ford Invitational. The volleyball team will face off with Texas Southern on Monday, Arkansas Pine Bluff on Thursday, and Grambling State next Sunday. The soccer team will have their alumni game and square off against Mississippi Valley State on Friday, and they'll go up against Alcorn on Sunday. We'll have more of those results next week on Inside the Jaguar Nation.
Oh, we're giving the fans what they want. More human jukebox. Of course, this one from the Bayou Classic just last year.
That's right. Coming up next after the break, we take you beyond the pads and shin traps and show you the real Danny Johnson as seen only right here on Inside the Jaguar Nation.
And of course, we'll go around the SWAC and show you the standings there from the Southwestern Athletic Conference, as well as a scouting report on the next opponent for the Southern Jaguars. That's all next, right here inside the Jaguar Nation.
This is Inside the Jaguar Nation, presented by Russell Law Firm.
Welcome back to Inside the Jaguar Nation. Morgan Beard here, Brian Holland there.
Yeah, but we're not the only team members, so we get terrific work. Cameras behind the scenes, and really feature photographers is what we call them. They're really reporters for us. You got, of course, Garrett Edgerson, Perry White doing a great job taking you behind the scenes, and this time I think maybe I had a little bit of an influence on who they followed. You'll see right here, Mr. Number 1, Mr. Danny Johnson.
Danny Johnson, first and foremost, outstanding young man, great character, great young man. Can't say enough about him. Great father. You always see him, hanging around with his son and spending time with his son and his family. As a player, I can't say enough about him. He has all the athletic ability that you would want in a kid with playing corner, the footwork, speed, all the intangibles.
I have a good work ethic. It's been a lot of times, in the off season, like I just push myself to go work out. Even if nobody else was out there, just to get an extra push when we get back into the season. Because I always wanted to have that edge over everybody else. So, it's just that mindset that I have. I want to be one of the best. So, I got to push myself. If anybody else does. And it's like a lot of stuff that I want to do with my son that I can't do because I'm playing ball. So my biggest return to him is just, having him come to games on Saturday. He can see his father play in front of, thousands of people. It's just, it makes him happy. So whenever he's happy, I'm happy. But just when I get the chance to just go home and, hear everything, he's been doing in school and, what he likes and doesn't like, it just brings me back to that fatherhood of just being around him, and that's what I like to do. I put academics over football because, I can't play football forever. At some point, I'm going to have to rely on that degree. So, that's my biggest thing, and that's one reason why I came to Southern, to get that degree. So I set myself up to where I'll be able to graduate right after the season. So if football doesn't work out for me, I can always come back and go to grad school. So, education is a big thing for me.
Danny Johnson put Southern University on a national stage. Obviously, everybody knows about the Jag Nation and Southern University, but you'll see Danny Johnson playing on Sunday one day, and he'll be able to be an ambassador, for the university.
Always great stuff from Garrett Edgerton and Perry White there. Hey, coming up next, though, we've got the Jags' next opponent as they get back to SWAC play versus Alabama A&M.
Yeah, speaking of the Southwestern Athletic Conference, Grambling State, still on top there in the West. That's setting up maybe a great Bayou Classic. Prairie View, big win this past weekend. Southern still right there in the middle of things. Going to the SWAC West, or SWAC East, I should say now. More standings as, Alcorn State, we knew they were good, especially a couple of weeks ago as they're on top of the East, and they look primed maybe to get to that SWAC championship game. More on Inside the Jaguar Nation next.
This is Inside the Jaguar Nation, presented by Russell Law Firm.
That's right. Welcome back to Inside the Jaguar Nation. He's Morgan Beard. I'm Brian Holland with you every Sunday night. And good news for the Jaguar Nation, by the way, getting back to SWAC play.
They're taking a little break out of conference versus Fort Valley State, but now they get back to it versus a team that has 2 SWAC games under their belt. And we're talking about Alabama A&M. And let's get to know their next opponent. They started the season off with 3 losses, only 7 points scored in those first 3 games, but that's kind of what happens when you go up a level and play the FBS. Since then, though, conference play has treated them very well as they're 2-0 in the SWAC, the first time since 2012. And a player to watch, wide receiver Octavius Miles. Get this, he's coming off of 2 100-yard games in SWAC play. And the funny thing, he set the number right on the dot, 100 yards exactly, with just 4 and 5 catches respectively. So this guy has big play potential written all over him. And lastly, defensively, the Bulldogs are coming off of an A-plus game. They held the Golden Lions to just 133 total yards, including 6 sacks and 7 tackles for loss. That's a lot of action in that backfield. Defensive back Devontae King, well, he channeled his inner Danny Johnson with a pick 6 last game as well. So for Southern, tread lightly, especially on that defensive side of the ball.
I know that they got the win, but they did play the Golden Lions. They did play UAPB. So there is that. I think you still have Southern, Prairie View, Grambling really at the top.
The thick of that SWAC conference still ahead of a lot of these teams.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to learn a lot here in the next few weeks. All right. For our whole team, Aaron Lee, of course, Ashley Loudis, and Morgan Beard, I'm Brian Hahn. Thanks for joining us inside the Jaguar Nation.
Jaguar fans, exciting news. Come join President Ray Belton and myself, Athletic Director Roman Banks, at our home game season finale. A first-class experience at the first annual VIP party in the end zone on Saturday, November the 4th, starting at 2 p.m. Come out, wear your gold, and enjoy great entertainment, food, drinks, and a lot of fun from the field as the Jaguars battle the Prairie View A&M Panthers. A limited number of tickets are available. Please contact us for more information at 225-771-3171. Come out and enjoy the fun.